Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited that we have Stephen Elliott here of Vacation Capital Corporation to discuss, I think, what is the first in Canada for an opportunity to invest your RRSP into your four-season resort cottage. So I'm very excited to launch that today, and let's get the presentation started. Okay, great. So here we go. So I'm Joe Accardi with ResortHQ and Fortune Foster. Excited to have this day here presentation today. And we've been investing in resorts for the past 3 years now, but it's only been really this year that we've been able to get everything moving, mostly because of the supply chain issues that wasn't allowing us to really launch as the way we had hoped. But now that we have the supply available and we have this exciting program here today, 2024 is looking fantastic. So what are we doing here today? Today we're talking about something super exciting. We're unlocking up to 100% of your RRSP and your four-season cottage. So everyone here, you can see, a beautiful picture here. This is Galwing Lake in Muskoka, super close to Bala, so one of the most premium cottage areas in Ontario that we're happy to launch. Let's discuss, how can we get 100% and what are you getting for this 100% RSP? So for those of you who've been watching us over the year and ResortHQ, you know that we have four-season resort cottages. And what I'm happy to show you today is we've been launching a new series. So we got the Mountain Collection, the River Collection, the Lake Collection, as well as the River Collection. So actually, today is our first day in our presentation, which is, or actually in our new studio. So this is the Lake Collection here. So we're gonna put a Matterport link to see this unit, and you can see how you can go around and see all the amenities that it has: washer, dryer, all the condo amenities, air conditioning, heating, etc. So we're looking at the inside of a unit now. So look at the finishes. They're just incredible. Very proud of the team, very proud of our designers, very proud of our manufacturers and team to deliver these units. For those of you who've been in the RV industry in the past 5 years, you know that these new units for 2024 do not look like the units that we saw 5, 10 years ago. So it's really come a long way, and I really believe that most of the challenges have been overcome now with our 2024 models. So let's move on to the next one. Great. So I think with that, I want to just hand it over to, I guess, the main part of the presentation here, which is I think our launch. Like I said, we're excited to be the first Canadian player working with Stephen and team. But Stephen, why don't you introduce yourself, your company, and why we're so excited to be presenting today.
Okay, thank you very much, Joe. We're very happy to be working with ResortHQ, and particularly the Lake Resort cottages, which are just beautiful units.
Thank you.
I started Vacation Capital about 5 years ago, and our primary focus over that time has been assisting Canadians to buy vacation properties in Mexico. So we have an office in Cancun, where I'd rather be today than in Hamilton, Ontario. And we've been working to facilitate, to help people to unlock the funds in their RSPs to be able to help to finance the purchase of these recreational properties. This is our first venture in Canada with properties within Canada, working with ResortHQ. So under the program, we designed this. Our inspiration for the program was the Canadian First-Time Home Buyers Plan, which allowed people to access funds from their RSP to purchase their first home. The concept is you borrow the money from your RSP and then you have to pay it back over a fixed period of time. There are a lot of restrictions to the official program, so we designed our program without those restrictions to be able to be access to the largest number of people. Under our program with ResortHQ, The maximum amount that can be accessed out of your RSP is $100,000. Now, that's $100,000 per individual. And if you are going to participate with a spouse or children or other people, each person can access their RSP up to the $100,000 limit. The first step in doing this is to take your RSP funds from your existing RSP account, probably with one of the big banks, and then to transfer it to our trust company, which is called Western Pacific Trust, based in Vancouver. The funds are transferred on a tax-free basis because you're allowed to have as many RSPs as you want under the Canadian rules. Once the funds are transferred to Western Pacific, the funds are then deployed to purchase 6% bonds that are issued by our company, Checkmark Financial Corporation. For the past 5 years, Checkmark has been qualified by the Canada Revenue Agency as a qualified investment for Canadian RSP accounts. So we work very closely with Western Pacific Trust to make the process as easy as possible for people that are participating. The funds are invested in bonds, which carry an annual return of 6%, which gets paid into your RSP accounts. So this is something that is growing your RSP at the same time that you're enjoying your resort cottage. Checkmark loans those funds to Vacation Capital Corporation, which is able to make personal loans to Canadian participants. These loans are up to the maximum of $100,000 per person and are unsecured. So there is no mortgage or lien on your resort cottage, and the transaction is not reported to the credit bureaus, so your credit is unaffected to do other borrowings or other financial planning. This loan bears interest at 8% interest on the outstanding balance of the principal, and can be repaid up to a total number of years of 21 years for the repayment of the principal and the replenishment of your RSP account. How we do this is every 7 years you have the option to renew for a second 7-year term up to the maximum of 21 years. The loan is fully open. It can be prepaid at any time. And of course, when you repay your loan, we redeem the bonds in your RSP account. So your RSP once again gets turned into cash, which you can transfer back to the bank and invest in whatever you want to for your own financial plan. So we really have two different sources of payments. You are making payments on the loan, and then those payments are being credited back to your RSP on a tax-free basis, which grows the investment up to your retirement date. Now, in order to be qualified for the RSPs, it has to be, number one, it has to qualify under the tax regulations, which we, of course, do. The second part is that it has to be compliant with the securities laws in Canada, because an investment is being made using your RSP funds. In order to do this, the trade has to be conducted through a licensed securities dealer who is licensed with the Securities Commission. And this type of security dealer is called an exempt market dealer. And they are investment professionals that are able to explain all of the details of the investment, how it affects your RSP, how it affects your long-range investment plans, and retirement are all handled by the professional investment advisor with the EMD. Now, you will be having to be qualified by that EMD to be what's called an eligible investor under the Canadian rules. Now, an eligible investor is based upon your financial assets or the amount of income that you earn either alone or jointly with your spouse. So there's two ways of qualifying. One, that you have a net worth of a minimum of $400,000 that you can demonstrate, or alternatively, you have personal income of at least $75,000 for the past 2 years. Now, you can combine that income requirement with your spouse, and with a spouse, the requirement is $125,000 of combined income over the past 2 years. Once you're qualified as an appropriate investment, you're able to transfer the RSP funds, participate in the checkmark bonds, and to close the deal so far as the purchase of your resort cottage. So that, in a nutshell, is your program. You are making use of funds in your RSP, but you're then paying that back with an annual return, which will keep your RSP fully funded at the time that you want to retire in your resort cottage.
Incredible. The more I hear about it, the better it sounds. Yeah. And as a lot of people know, RSP is one of the best strategies for your financial future in Canada. So being able to access that is incredibly amazing. So just to kind of summarize what's happening here today, I just want to kind of show you, how far we've come in a few years. So in 2022, it was really about assembling amazing resorts across Ontario. I think we've done that. In 2023, I think the huge benefit this year was getting these beautiful four-season resort cottages up with the supply chains catching up. No more deals with no windows, no more deals with not getting the exact unit that you want. So it's fully customizable now. So that's happening in 2023. And now at the end of 2023 here with Stephen's program, the financing, a great solution for independent thinkers here. So take a look at this program. We're extremely excited by it, and we've been to the factories. The quality is incredible. All the benefits of building in the factory really show not only the cost, but the customization. Being able to go on an assembly line, all that benefit. We're going to really put this together. So I'm really looking forward to next year. I hope you'll join us. There's an email link up here if you have any questions. We're also going to do a question and answer session right now with Stephen. So if there's any questions you have right now, happy to get forward with it. But incredible time for real estate in Canada and with ResortHQ. And we hope you'll learn more about our programs, join our mailing list, and let's chat more. So with that, I guess, Alex, if you have some questions available for us, I guess Steve and I can address.
Certainly.
Yeah, for now, we just have one question. Just to repeat myself, is that I think you answered it partially, Stephen, but an anonymous attendee is asking, does this investment follow the same RRSP room? If one has maximized room, can we avail the investment through RRSP?
Okay. You can participate in the program two ways, either with funds that are parked in your RSP already that you've accrued over the years. But if you are below the $100,000 limit, you're allowed to top up your RSP contributions based upon your contribution limits that accrue every year and are available on your tax return. The bonus on that is when you top up your RSP, you get a tax receipt from Western Pacific Trust for the RSP contribution, and you get a very, very healthy tax refund for topping up your RSP for your resort cottage.
Yeah, feel free to ask any more questions in the chat for anyone attending right now, but we do have other questions kind of posed on the sidelines here. Does the money ever leave your RRSP, and if so or not, is it ever taxed at any point?
No. The transfers take place within one qualified RSP to another, so there's nothing taxable about that. So the checkmark 6% bonds are held in your RSP, accrue interest at 6% a year, and that's all done in a tax-free environment so long as you don't withdraw funds from your RSP.
Great.
We have a couple more questions. The first from Teresa here is asking if we'll be sending a recording to everyone. We will be. So if you subscribe to the event link, which is how you came today, we'll be following up with everyone with a recording of today's event, and we'll be able to share the actual presentation too for everyone to look at.
Definitely.
And then Virginia also asks, can the combined income be with a child instead of a spouse or all three?
So far as the definition of eligible investor, that is restricted to just the individual and their spouse. However, you can combine different RSPs, each of which will have a $100,000 limit to do that. So you can purchase your resort cottage jointly with your adult children who may have RSPs themselves to be able to do that. So there is maximum flexibility on being able to maximize the funds that can be put into your home purchase.
Definitely, and we're in the lake collection right now. Again, check with the Matterport that we'll send out here. But this unit starts at $189,000. So with two individuals, one at 100, one at 90,000,
yes,
then you would be able to get that 100% financing that we had discussed in our presentation. So, but that doesn't mean just two people. Like Stephen's saying, it could also be three people, or four, or however it works out. But that in general is how you can get to 100% financing, which is incredibly exciting.
Could you clarify if it's unsecured and open?
Yes, the borrower can repay any amount of the principal at any time. It could be repaid in whole or in part. When a repayment is made on that loan, the funds are used to redeem the bonds that are held in your RSP. They get returned to cash, and you can then deploy that to your home RSP or whatever your investment objectives are. There's no penalty or any other thing so far as the prepayment of that loan.
Great solution.
Virginia has a couple other questions here to follow up. I'll start with your second one because I think it's a bit easier to answer. But $100,000 is the limit. What is the minimum?
The minimum amount would be $25,000.
And then she also follows up with, could you clarify what you mean about 100% financing?
Well, as Joe, you can explain that. You explain that with the price of the unit and two people combining their RSPs with a $100,000 limit to cover the total cost of a cottage.
Exactly. So your RSP can cover the cost of the four-season resort cottage. Typically in real estate, you have a mortgage, and so there's a down payment component. Let's just say in Canada, 20% down, you get an 80% mortgage. But in this case, through this RSP program, there's no restrictions on how much you can lend. So you don't have to do 100%, but it is an option. You could do 50%, you could do 75%. You could be as low as $25,000. That's really up to you. But the option is available from $25,000 all the way to 100% financing based on the criteria. So the flexibility is what we're incredibly excited about. Any other questions?
That's it for now.
Anything else we should cover? Excellent. So I think that was
Okay.
a really remarkable presentation. Like I said, this is a gigantic news story for us. One, being the first in Canada to be partnered with Stephen's program, and two, the biggest reservation towards getting into resort cottage ownership has been financing, and I think this is going to be a really compelling solution for a lot of people. So please look into it. Again, contact us with anything. Join our mailing list. And we hope to chat with you shortly.
Okay. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much.